Alright boys, NIQONOMIQS CONCEPTS, and this is video number 2, rejection blocks. It's going to be everything I know and how I use rejection blocks, because it might be a little bit different from how you've learned in the past or how other people trade them. So let's just get straight into this. What is a rejection block? This is going to be for like an absolute beginner. Rejection block is just we're an area of price where we put a big wick through. So like you can see this example, we have this hourly gap as well as just like a OTE zone. If I mark this out, you can see it's like the 0.705, 0.618. We wick and then end up closing bullish. And then also, what qualifies this as a good hourly rejection block? If we zoom in, we're going to want to see some sort of like change in state. So you can see this was the Sunday open. You can see we open lower and then we instantly change the state and start trading higher. That proves that price has switched order flow and we want to be bullish. So I'm going to be marking that out. It ended up being like a 15-minute as well, but you can use any time frame. So you can see we're just clearly trading higher. And then why do I use rejection blocks? It's just an area of interest, same way you use like a for value gap. You can see we have these lows that we end up stacking up below or above, sorry. And then what ends up happening, we go into the 5-minute. Show you an example of like how I would use it. We can mark out our deviation of the New York AM session. First distribution. This is kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. Hello. You can see we don't really have any good things on the 5-minute. If I go down to the 1-minute, we have this ends up getting us a -2 inside that rejection block. So this entire zone is going to be our level from here to here. That's where we want to see price trade to. So this way you can see price trades into it, instantly rejects out. Do I take my entries off straight off this level? You can, if you're super confident in it, and the RR is always really good. You can see CE of the actual level that I had marked out got hit. But most of the time what I'm doing is I'd just be taking the OTE of this leg, and I would be in longs from 0.618, running stop loss at this 15 points. You just have to cover the 0.79. You just target the -2. You can target whatever you want, to be honest. But that ended up being the low that we put in. You can see just trades higher. I won't bore you guys with this. I'm gonna just get into more examples of rejection blocks and how I use them. So let's go to a midnight open. That's where we should go next. So key opens. This is like one of the most important things. Key opens with rejection blocks. So you can see we have midnight open right here. It's not a rejection block because we didn't tap anything. Would this be a rejection block? It could be. You could consider it a rejection block even though it closed bearish. But the main thing I'd be looking at, I'll go to the 5-minute, see if we have anything. This one could be the rejection block. You can see it ended up getting held. But what I'd rather see is price come down and then form some sort of rejection block to trade lower from here. And we can see if that happens. You can see we ended up forming this rejection block. And what you want to do is just make sure price doesn't go above the 0.79. So go down to the 1-minute chart and see, held the 0.79. Would have gotten your entry off the 0.618 here. You could run your stop at this high. Target these lows. And that one ended up not playing out. You would have got break even on that one. My favorite one, I'll show you guys, is the 10 a.m. rejection block. You guys seen Powell? He trades the 10 a.m. rejection block. Let's see if I can find one. We have 10 a.m. open right here. Ended up putting in this, was it 15 minute? Ended up being an hourly rejection block. So, well, actually, let's see the close. Yeah, ends up being an hourly rejection block. Now we can wait for price to come back up to it. But obviously, we need to line up a deviation with it as well. Let's see, we have max extension from there. You can also target rejection blocks as like a draw on liquidity. Same way as like targeting an imbalance. Okay, end up resweeping these lows. See us trade up to there. Let's find a level. Okay, there you go, we have -4 right there. See if we can hit this RB. Didn't end up hitting it. Now we have this level. Now we have a -2 right there. I'm just doing this shit all in real time, random ass dates, so that's why this is kind of scuffed. But this would be the area that I would want to take shorts from. Let's go to the 5 minute. There we go, we hit the level. Let's see if we have any 1 minute changes. We do. We got this, wait no, we didn't end up, technically we did. And then we ended up putting in a 1 minute rejection block as well, off sweeping this. So you could have taken your entry off of this. This would have been, could have taken this 0.618, but I'd rather see price hit that rejection block off London. London's open. See. There you go, we hit the rejection block. Instantly dump. 0.79 gets rejected every time. And now you could take your entry off the 0.618. And this one ends up not playing out, but you get the gist. Just make sure it's around key opens. This obviously wasn't. I'm trying to think of what else I could do to explain rejection blocks. Just like for example, this would be a good rejection block. Because you see we sweep into this gap, which ends up being also an OTE level right there. So now we can wait and see if this level plays out. Yeah, you can see this level. Oh, it didn't hit it. That's tragic. That's tragic. But you can see it was close. Let's see if it ever ends up hitting it. Nope. Okay. Well, you get the gist. Let's look for something else to explain. Okay. Higher time frame. 4-hour rejection blocks. This is how I determine my biases most of the days. So, what would be a 4-hour rejection block? Would this be? Nah. It was closed bearish. Would this be? Nah, we left this low. Would this be? Yes, this would be a 4-hour rejection block. You can see gets rejected 3 different times, and we start delivering higher. You can see this was a rejection block on the 4 hour as well. Swept out that CRT. All my concepts just pair together because like you have CRT where we sweep out that low and then end up trading higher, which creates the rejection block. With this you have 4 hour rejection block. Yes, you can see it ends up playing out. 4 hour rejection block never gets tapped. Let's look for a bearish example. This would be 4 hour rejection block. You can see it played out for 440 points. In terms of like the 4 hour rejection blocks, there's not much criteria. You just have to see a change in direction on the same candle that sweeps an imbalance or a level. You don't, and then obviously you scroll down to like the 5 minute or 15 minute and find a change in state. That kind of prevents you from taking random ass rejection blocks. So like this would be a good rejection block. You can see that shit held so many times. This one ended up playing out. The 4 hour rejection blocks play out so much. This 4 hour rejection block played out. I mean, you can just look everywhere. 4 hour rejection blocks play out so much. I'll go to a random day and see if I can take a random ass 4 hour rejection block. Alright, so you. Oh, well, that would have been. Actually, no, never mind. This could have been your rejection block. We never tapped it. Okay, you could use this. I know, never mind. I wouldn't use that. There we go. I would use this one. Run your stop at this low. Obviously, you don't just do it on the 4 hour time frame because it's gonna be big ass stop losses. This one doesn't play out. Damn, bro. I said we have hella, and then they just don't show up now. Fuck. Could I find a fucking 4 hour rejection block? Like, holy shit, dude. This video is gonna be so shit. Alright, I would use this one. Let's see if it plays out. It's a small one. Oh, nope. Yeah, it's a little small. And you gotta use context, obviously. Here you can see this one would have played out. That was like the best rejection block because that was from November lows. Alright, here we go. This one looks good. There you go. There you go. Like if you just like swing traded 4 hour rejection blocks, get some good ass RR. There you go. You'd hit a 6R or 5R. This is a solid one. There you go. There you go. Target this internal. Oh. Alright. Alright. Well, you guys get the gist. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. Join the Discord. I'll have it linked in the bio. Follow my socials and use code NIQ, NIQ. Top 1 Futures just got affiliated. Yes, sir.